Alycats and the viewers. So today I'm reviewing To the Bone, Netflix's latest original film, and I have to preface this by saying this film does talk in depth about eating disorders, and it does show realistic depictions of eating disorders. So if you're currently battling an eating disorder, or you know someone who is currently battling one, this might not be a film to watch at the moment, but it's an important film, and that's why I wanted to review it today. To the Bone was written and directed by Marti Noxon, and is based off of her own personal experiences battling eating disorders, and it stars Lily Collins, who also battled anorexia and bulimia, Keanu Reeves, who is fantastic, Carrie Preston, and several other amazing actors and actresses. To the Bone follows Ellen, who is a young woman who is battling anorexia nervosa. She is skin and bones. They show it several times in the movie how skinny she is. Her bones are jutting out. And she has been through several inpatient treatment facilities and none of them have worked. She is about to die. So her family is desperate and send her to a doctor who is known for his radical methods with treating eating disorders. And she is sent to live in a home with 6 other patients who are currently battling their own eating disorders. And that's where the story goes. This is an incredibly important film. It's an incredibly hard to watch film, and if you have ever suffered with an eating disorder or have known someone who has suffered with an eating disorder, it hits really close to home. I did not expect this to affect me as much as it did, but it did. I've had personal issues with body image in the past, I've had personal issues with eating disorders in the past, and this film really did hit the nail on the head. It hit a little too close to home, but I appreciate what Marti Noxon did with this film because she's trying to spread the message about the true reality of eating disorders, that it's not about being skinny per se, it's about having control, and it's a mental illness. It's not something you can just tell someone, hey, eat a plate of food and you'll be better. It's not that. It requires treatment. It requires therapy. It requires the person to actually want to get better. And that's what I really appreciated about this film and the message it conveyed. And I think it's a really realistic depiction. Now obviously my experience with these issues is different from everyone else's experience, so of course, someone watching this could have a worse experience, they could have a better experience, they could have a completely different experience. But I think that's the beauty of this film, because it does show different people suffering from different types of disorders and different types of mental illnesses. And I really appreciate the fact that they actually showed a man suffering from an eating disorder in this film, because a lot of people just assume eating disorders are mostly a female issue, but there are men who deal with eating disorders, and I like the fact that there's a man in this film who was suffering, because it sheds light on the fact that men also have problems with body image and with mental health. I thought the acting for the most part was good in this film. A couple of the actors were a little iffy, but I loved Lily Collins. Again, I thought Keanu Reeves gave one of his best performances to date. I adored Carrie Preston as Ellen's stepmother, and I thought the majority of the actors who were portraying patients in the home did a good job. I also really like the dialogue. Even though this is a very serious film, it does have some darkly comic lines of dialogue that I really appreciated. And for the most part, this film works. It conveys the message that eating disorders are a real thing. They're not something that you can just choose to stop doing, and that they can affect anyone. There were a couple things I didn't really enjoy about this film. First up is there is a romantic subplot that doesn't really go anywhere, so it kind of just felt crowbarred in for the sake of having a romance in the film. I think I would have rather have seen Ellen fight this on her own with the support of her family and friends, but that's just my opinion. And there's also a scene that I felt was kind of weird that I'm not going to say in this video because it'd be a spoiler, but it just felt, like I said, weird to me. This is a really hard film to rate because this is not a fun film to watch. It's not pleasurable to watch this film, but it's important and it's moving, and it really does shed light on eating disorders, so I think it's really important to watch if you can handle it. But I'm going to give it a personal score of 4 out of 5, but depending on your viewpoint, this rating could totally change. You might appreciate the film more than I did, or if you're one of those people that hates hearing about mental illnesses and eating disorders and you don't believe in them, yada yada yada, you're just going to think this is probably like a schmaltzy Lifetime movie. So It depends really on what your viewpoint about this stuff is, but I personally think this is something that's very important. I'm glad that Marti Noxon had the courage to tell a version of her story and to shed light on eating disorders, no matter if she received backlash or not, which she has received backlash for this film. I think she was very brave. I think Lily Collins is brave for revisiting her past in this film. And I think it's really brave on Netflix's part to show the darker sides of humanity in their work. And I know it can be triggering for some people. Don't watch it if you think it could be a trigger. But To the Bone, to me, was an excellent film that realistically portrayed eating disorders, and it had a fantastic cast with a fantastic script. And I say watch it if you think you can handle it. If you don't think you can handle it, or you just don't think it'd be interesting to you, skip it. But I really found it enlightening and realistic and hard-hitting. So if you like this video, leave a like. Let me know down below if you've seen To the Bone and what you thought about it. If you like what you've seen and heard but you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, and also make sure you hit the notification bell so you'll always be alerted every time I upload a new video. And if you like this video, feel free to share it. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Peace and kisses. Bye. Sing me a song of a loss that is gone. Oh, hey, you're still here. What a crazy random happenstance. Well, since you just caught me singing and ringing off guard, you might as well click on my floating face that will appear over here soonish and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you'd like to see my previous video, it will be up here somewhere. And if you'd like to see a playlist of videos that you can watch on repeat all day, every day, for the rest of your life, you'll find that over here as well. I'm gonna go back to reading my favorite book of all time. Okay, you can go now because I'm really deep into a Janie Fraser plotline.